This weekend I'm up on some forest roads trying to find some dispersed camping, a place that I've never been. I thought this would be a perfect time for me to explain to you guys how I find these spots. Maybe you can find some yourself. For over 2 years now, I've been bringing you camping with me almost every weekend. You've asked me, how do I find these spots? Well, it starts with Google Maps. Let me show you. This week, I focused in on an area southwest of Bacchus. It's a large area that doesn't look like there's any roads going through it. So let's dig in, take a look. You can see it says State Forest Road. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to follow this road until I see pull-offs or other trails. This spot here looks like it'd be a great spot to set up for the weekend, so I'll grab the coordinates. Then I go over to Onyx Maps, put it in there, and see if it's private property. So it tells me that this area right here is part of the Foothills State Forest, and check that out. You can actually see that there's an RV there already. That's pretty cool. So now I definitely know that that's a spot that I can go. I use Google Maps first just because it seems to be a little bit more updated. I'll follow these roads, even though they're not marked as a state forest road. I'll just follow them along, look and see if I can find any more pull-offs. Here's a great spot. Looks like it's right on Perch Lake. I can grab the coordinates again, put them in the Onyx app, just to double check to make sure that I'm in that state forest yet. And there we are. It tells us that it is in tax forfeited land this time. Well, now we need to know, can we camp on the tax forfeited land? Onyx is telling me that it's in Cass County, so I'm going to put in Cass County, recreating on tax forfeit land, and see what Google tells me. And here we are. Primitive camping on county-administered tax forfeited lands is permitted under the following guidelines. It follows really closely to the same thing as a state forest, so 14 days in one area, have to remove all your trash, can't be chopping down any live trees, no camping within a quarter mile of a public boat access or designated county, state, or federal campground. I spend quite a bit of time zoomed in on the trails, just looking to see if I can find any pull-offs. And it's important once you do find one to check and see, is it private land? Are you on the reservation? Is it public land? Is it in the forest or is it in a park? Because it makes a big difference if you're in a park compared to a forest. In the state parks, you can't be doing any dispersed camping like we are. But in the state forest, national forest, it's no problem. For me, I also have to be careful of, is it a national park? Because if it is, then I can't be doing any recording, which is why I don't get up to the Boundary Water Canoe area very often for the channel. I came up this weekend with 8 different spots pinned between county campgrounds, state forest campgrounds, and then a couple of dispersed spots. So I was thinking now with Labor Day being over, kids would be in school, and maybe I'd get into a county campground that would offer some really pretty views on a lake, or same with the state forest campground, but yeah, there were still people there. Even with the best planning though, sometimes you can drive for 7 hours and end up here in old forest cutting on top of a hill. Everything is full this weekend, busier than last weekend. The good news is it's going to be quiet here, at least quieter than everywhere else. I feel like I got a late start. We got to get camp set up. First thing I'm going to do is get this fire going. I think once the meat's on, I'll finally feel like I'll be able to relax a little bit. Now we'll get the tripod set up. Did I tell you guys what we're making? Beef ribs. soon as I get this put together, I'll have all kinds of time to relax. Those fast fires work really, really good. It's finally starting to feel like home. Put the rub down on these guys right away. I'm gonna go with an applewood from McCormick's. It's my favorite. I'm gonna let the wood that's there burn down to coals, and then I got lump charcoal and cherry wood, and that's what we're gonna use to smoke this. Boy, with this wind, I'm having my doubts. I don't know how this is gonna work. Give it our best shot though. It'll keep some of that smoke in there. I just don't want it to get too hot. I bet I could put a thermometer right in there to keep an eye on the temperature. That'll work. Okay, so now we just want to keep it around 200, 225 degrees, which means the ribs should be done by about 10 o'clock tonight. The universe is just fighting me this weekend. This tin cover's not working too bad. Keeping it right at around 225, 230. This is beautiful out here. All right, I'm gonna get these guys flipped over and we'll keep cooking. I've made ribs on the channel a few times, usually in the Dutch oven, then I'll finish them off on the grill. I've never made them on the tripod before. This is just kind of an experiment, but I'm sure it'll turn out. This is definitely a dispersed campsite, but I'm not the first one that's used it. That fire ring was already here. Plus there's some type of teepee shelter over here. Let me show you this. Yeah, they definitely built it on purpose. Maybe I should make a video where I'm staying in this for the night. The sides are all collapsing in. It's really not even usable anymore. Someone put a lot of time and effort into that. I don't think they'll be showing up tonight though. So they've been on now for about 4 hours. And I stuck the temperature probe in there and they were looking done. Wow. I'll just show you guys this part really quick. This is the meat, it's so delicious. Now we'll just let these guys rest for a while. Definitely be able to keep the fire going. Sometimes this is where it's at. It's been really quiet here all day. I think we could sit here for days, not see a soul. Maybe the guy that built that fort, but that's about it. I think it's time to check out the ribs. They've had a few minutes to set up, see how they taste. The wind made it tough this weekend. It was hard regulating the temperature, and the ribs, they dried out. I think if I had a moisture pan, help keep some of the steam inside, that would definitely help. Plus, if I had a way to block the wind, that'd help as well. You can see that the ribs, they got burnt, but here's the deal. There was a lot of really, really good meat on there yet. A little bit of mustard on a sandwich, and basically, best part of barbecue is burnt ends. That's exactly what this sandwich tasted like. Burnt end sandwich. All in all, I'm giving this one 6 out of 10. Well, I hope you guys were able to get a little bit of an idea of how I find these spots. And I'll show you what this spot looked like on the map. It's pretty much just an old cut, and I saw some tracks leading in off the main forest road. That's what brought me back here. Tomorrow morning when we get up, we're gonna go check out a scenic overlook a couple of miles from here. That looks pretty impressive. The leaves are just starting to change. Pretty soon we'll have full colors, then it will be gorgeous. Today went by pretty quick, and I'll admit it didn't feel like I had the time that I normally have out here. Probably best if I just call it a night. I woke up this morning, had to turn the furnace on. It was 47 degrees out. I had all the windows open from last night. It got downright chilly out. But this morning we're gonna go check out an overlook. One of the cool things about searching for these sites and spending the time on Google Maps scrolling through these areas looking for these dispersed spots are finding some of the scenic overlooks that are in the area. That's what I'm gonna go check out this morning. This weekend, we maybe didn't find ourselves a lake or even what a lot of people would consider a prime dispersed campsite, but all you gotta do is just open your eyes a little bit because these spots that are out there. And this is why I suggest that you guys get on Google Maps and Onyx and find these places for yourself, because I could have told you where I stayed last night, but then you wouldn't have seen this. And tomorrow when I'm at work, I need to find a mental escape. I'm gonna go right back here. You guys have been hanging out with me just about all weekend long, and I think that's long enough. We got this video in the bag. We'll see you again next Tuesday. Until then, be kind, be honest. We'll see you down the road.